Bobby pulling it in. Get a little work done. We have a big hole here in the interior. Get underneath, and the bolts come in from the rear. We do have the 4 carburetors, so again, all brand new, real Stromberg 97s. The seat again is out. We had a cracked headlight lens, so we did order a new tack. There's Bobby, he's showing up. This panel, this louvered panel underneath has to come off. Well, we're back for another episode of Opposing Cylinders here at Low Man Rods in Tipp City, Ohio. And today we are checking on the 34 Coupe, the 413 Coupe. We got Bobby in the background. He's working hard, and we're just here to show you some of the progress and little things and big things being done. So let's take a look. Let's get Bobby on camera and see what he's working on here today. So, as you can see, the new carburetors, Bobby's hard under here. He's putting the brand new Stromberg 97s on, hooking up all the linkage, but I'm gonna let him talk a little bit. Bobby, what do we got going on today? What are you working on?
Set up the 4 carburetors, bolting them on. I'm setting the linkage back up and go from there. And then I've already put the tack in and the heater back in, so we got that all set up. And it's just time-consuming stuff, not hard stuff, but time-consuming.
Right. Now, what did we have to do to the heater?
The main piping, lower piping, was busted out of the core, and the guy soldered it all back up.
Nice. And then you also added new heater hoses.
Yeah, I had to put all new hoses on when I did for the heater, so that way we have no problem there. And we kind of touched up the block and stuff, made it look a little cleaner.
So that, and then we got new fuel lines coming in, not fuel lines, but fuel hoses.
Yeah, they'll be coming in, and Tim decided we'd order this type of hose where it's a little bit better.
Nice. And then I also know that you did the rear taillights, so we got brand new LED taillights. We'll show you those. We'll give you a quick walk around here real quick. So not only is he working on the Stromberg 97s, those are all going on. Again, all the engine, it's kind of been touched up, cleaned up a little bit, linkage. He also did a new thermostat housing, right? Did we put a new thermostat in here as well, Bob?
Put a new thermostat, but I just cleaned the old housing up.
Okay, so same housing as before, but a new thermostat, and resealed all this because it was leaking around, and then again touched up and painted some around here as well. But looking inside, again, we have the door is back on. Inside they had to get in here, so you'll kind of see where it was kind of here it was welded, so it was kind of moving in the door. So the door was kind of moving just a hair, so they spot welded that. So the door will be pulled back off and painted. And we have new mirrors on. So these are the fatties, so they're actually a curved mirror, so you can see out a little bit better. And then we have a brand new Stuart Warner gauge, a brand new tack in here. It had a sun tack, but all the rest are Stuart Warner, so we wanted all that to match up. And again, the heater is reinstalled, and I'll show you kind of, there's a pipe, you probably really won't be able to see it, but there's a pipe in the back here. That is where it was actually leaking. It was dripping down a little bit, so that's all been fixed, soldered. Randy did a great job with Lake City of just wiring the car. It has all the cool lines in here originally, so really the door will be pulled back off. We're getting ready to get on to the rest of the transmission. And then Bobby, we wanted taillights a brighter. I tend to do the LED taillights just to make sure people behind us can see. So he had to pull down this whole rear panel, all louvers. So this all came off and then put in the brand new LED taillights. So that wasn't anything too crazy to do, but let's do a quick walk around here of the car, and we'll show you a few other things that's about to be done as well. Couple other things left to do here at Low Man Rods. Again, we put new rear tires on it. We had Detroit Tire, True, all the tires, so you can see that in a previous video. But we're gonna have Low Man Rods repaint the wheels also, because it had these chrome rings on it, and I took them off just to change the look a little bit. I think it makes especially the rears, I think it makes the wheels look a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. So we're gonna have them repaint the wheels black from where those rings had kind of slid on. So that needs to be done. We are gonna put, again, a new battery in the back. So I think that one's a little older. Again, it worked, but we're going to do something a little bit new. And then on to the transmission. Bob, can you tell us kind of the next steps on the transmission part? What parts had to be ordered, or where we're at on that?
Well, we're putting a hydraulic clutch setup on it. So we have to get a certain slave cylinder to match what we're going to have down there. And we got some cutting to do and some drilling, and then run lines so it'll work. And that way it'll be a hydraulic clutch. It'll be easy to push.
So a little easier on that. And then really, I think we already have the clutch, the bell housing, everything on.
Yeah, it's all on, yeah.
So really it's just the rest of it, but getting that done.
Once we have the slave cylinder set up where will be working, and it'll be like no bind in it, then we'll slow ahead, slide the transmission in and go from there.
Nice. So hopefully here in another week I'll be driving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the snow, right?
Right.
Right. We got Mac here as well. So the man, the myth, the legend, Mac Nicewander, Low Man Rods. So Mac, I'm just kind of giving a quick rundown of the car and all the work that Bobby's been doing. So he's doing great.
Yeah, it's coming right around.
So ready to drive it. Carburetors are going on, and then you're going to paint the inside of the door. Yep. And the wheels here soon.
Yeah. So, and probably the tunnel once it gets fixed.
Yeah. So tell us what we're going to do on the tunnel. So you're probably going to make a new tunnel for it, right?
Yeah, because I don't think it's going to fit what you had before. And we'll just build another tunnel, and we'll just screw it down to the floor, and it can be taken in and out.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do that.
And I think what we're going to do when Mac resprays the inside of the door where I showed you, I think we're going to have a real cool tunnel built. So they'll fab that here, and we're going to paint it body color. And then we'll take the car down to Speed and Design after. They're going to update the seat for me, as we have talked about in a previous video. And we'll probably do like a rubber mat instead of just insulation. But we're going to see that tunnel. So excited for Mac to put some color on it as well. It'll brighten it up even more. Kind of match the dash.
Yeah.
But I know once Bobby, we're putting all the pressure on Bobby here, right? But once Bobby gets the carburetors, we'll get transmission. Mac will pull off the wheels, and we'll get those sprayed, and then we're gonna just go through all the brakes mechanically, make sure that the brakes are all good. Because again, the goal is to be able to drive this as much as possible and drive it far and drive it comfortably. Again, no major problems with the car. We're just updating it. I love the car, so not bashing the car or that there was a ton wrong. What the previous owner did in any way, shape, or form is a great car. We're just updating it, making a few things our own, and just making sure everything is serviced properly for next year. So just doing some changes. So Here we go. Well, part 2 of the video. We're back at Low Man Rods on a frigid day here. A little snow on the ground, but we're gonna see some more updates for this video on the 413 Coupe. So let's take a look inside. Okay, we're back inside the shop, as you can tell, and I do have Bobby here. Bobby's gonna give us a rundown. There's been a lot of work since the last time I was up here, but we're gonna catch you up to speed. And the transmission, bell housing, everything has been up and down a couple times, so we're gonna let Bobby talk. He's the guy behind it. So, Bob, tell us. Let's go. Maybe start from the front to the rear. What have you been doing? I see the wheels are off, and I see all our carburetors are on. But maybe talk us through what's been happening.
Well, we checked the brakes and sanded the shoes. They're all okay, and we're going to put an emergency brake set up in the back. So we're waiting on that parts to come in, and we're going to pack the bearings. And up in the carburetors part, we set up a choke setup, which it didn't have before. So he can easily pull it, set the choke, that kind of deal. Now I'm had the bell housing off 2 or 3 times for this hydraulic throwout bearing. We have to do a lot of measurement to get the right thousandths clearance. And I've ended up cutting on his floor, and so I can get the whole deal up through there.
A little tighter fit?
It's a lot tighter fit than the other one was. But a lot of that, and measuring and make sure everything's all right and don't have to cut too much.
Show me what you did underneath the hood with the carburetors and a choke and so forth. Maybe talk us through that a little bit.
Well, it all works off this setup through here into a rod on the inside. All 4 carburetors are together into this block, and then it works off that. I'm waiting on clamps for these new hoses, and you can go inside there and he'll be able to just pull the choke right here, and that'll pull all 4 chokes, and then just push it back in.
Nice.
And
then we obviously have the heater. So you've had the bell housing in and out a couple times, and I kind of see through the hole here. You have the new master cylinder.
yeah, the new master cylinder for the throwout is already installed.
Okay.
But I have to, when this toe board goes back in here is where your reservoir is going to be.
Okay.
And you'll be able, we'll have a hole where you can pick it up and fill it.
Wow. So got a little bit more out of the floor. So obviously a new tunnel is going to be made as well.
Yeah, what we'll have to do, your seat bolts generally right in this area, the front of the seat. So I'll have to take a little bit out of the seat so it'll set over it.
Okay.
It'll still go right back same place, but it'll just be cut out to go over that hump.
Nice. And again, we have the new Stewart Warner gauge in all lined up, so that looks really good with all matching gauges. Trying to think, was there anything else done inside? I don't think anything else is done.
Most of my work this time has been down there measuring and taking off and putting on and taking off and putting on.
How many times do you think you've done that?
4.
4? We did add new mirrors on here as well. So we did the fatties. So it has the curved glass. I don't know if we pointed that out last time. So we got the brakes off and checking the brakes, bearings, and then wheels are off. And have the wheels been painted?
Not yet. They're sitting over there ready for Mac to take them up.
Okay. So Mac is going to paint the wheels. We're going to take those, get that ready, and try and think. Most of our list is kind of done from there, isn't it? It's really just the transmission after the brakes.
We do have your door glass back.
Okay. So we got new glass for the door. So that is good.
But they still have to paint that section, so it has to come off.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, what Bobby's talking about there is inside the door. You'll see here where they kind of hit those little welds or inside, that will be repainted. So Mac will paint that inside. Again, we have new door glass, and just make sure the door is all fitting. But they're going to make a new tunnel, and we're going to paint that the same color as the car. So I think it'll look good with the with the glove box, the heater, and it all kind of go down into a tunnel all painted. So I think it's taking shape.
Yeah, it's coming along.
So it'll be ready here in the next month?
Yeah, should be.
So what we have in store, we're going to, one of our upcoming videos, we're going to take the Roadster down to Gillette Speed and Design, and we're going to get a new seat. So we're hoping that we'll take the Roadster down, get a new seat, bring it back, and then take the Coupe down, and Gil is going to redo the seat on the 413 Coupe after that. So again, on the seat, we'll cut out a little bit on the base so it kind of goes over the tunnel, but we're going to shrink this section down. We'll go down a little bit and a little bit back on there so I can just stretch out a little bit more inside. So I think that is it for today. Let's, I may get underneath and look at it and just show one or two things. So look, I can just look a little bit. So what they did is you'll see a new master cylinder under here as well. So that is all in here. So it will be a hydraulic clutch. They cut out a little bit of the frame rail, so that'll all be cleaned up and painted. But just getting it all set up. And room here, but you can kind of see from the bottom the floor. But Bobby is again just taking the bell housing off a couple different times.
I am going to trim this all out right here. Got it marked on both sides, so if they ever have to take the bell housing, it won't be a problem.
Okay.
I'm thinking the next guy ahead of me.
Well, that's nice. So I'm glad that the heater is now all working too. So what they did in there, you'll see again a pipe. I don't know if you can see this pipe coming back. It was, I think they just soldered that, right?
Yeah.
So that was all soldered and kind of gone through, so the heat actually works inside the car. So happy wife, happy life on there. So hopefully you like all the progress that's being made. Again, nothing aesthetically being done, really just all mechanical, just have it all gone through. The biggest change was, again, the 5-speed. So excited to get that gone, or get it going rather, and get the car back on the road. So I'm in love with the car, if you can't tell it. I love the car. I think it's going to be killer when it's done. Again, thanks Randy for selling the car to us. And the car was done right again, but it's been done for a while, so we're just really going through everything. But thanks again to Low Man Rods here for doing all the updates and kind of service work and so forth as well. So until the next video, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you like the content. Follow Low Man Rods on Instagram. We'll put that in the comments below, and check out our website for a lot of great cars for sale at opposingcylinders.com. So thanks for everyone watching today.